Well, joining me now is Andrew Hale, who's a fellow at Advancing American Freedom. This is a conservative think tank that's based in Washington. Andrew, lovely to have you with us here on Business Today. So let's just start off with what the expectations are of the Supreme Court later today.
Well, we're all waiting at 10 a.m. This morning in the United States. We're waiting with bated breath for decisions to be released from the Supreme Court. I mean, for example, it could be, they'll release the decision on the Voting Rights Act case. Or they may actually release the decision on the IEEPA tariff case. We don't actually know. Maybe we'll have to have a sigh of relief at 10 a.m. when they issue something else, and then we'll have to wait until next Friday. But we're ready to receive that information if it comes out, and then, of course, respond as I'm doing now with you on television. So we're waiting with bated breath. I believe when they do release the decision, I think it's a foregone conclusion that the Supreme Court is going to eliminate the president's ability to use IEEPA to impose these across-the-board tariffs. And that will, of course, undercuts all these so-called trade deals that President Trump has been using, agreeing with our allies, and they'll have to rely on other tariff authorities, but they'll never be able to use this across-the-board tariff again. It's, in my opinion, it's unconstitutional.
Well, we've heard from Mr. Bessent, and he said he's expecting something of a mishmash ruling. What's he talking about exactly? There won't be an outright ruling, but it will be a mixture of something or the other?
Well, for starters, Mr. Bessent and I both do not have crystal balls. What I think is the potential is we don't know what's going to happen with the over $150 billion in tariff revenue that's already been collected. And I think it's unlikely that we'll get a resolution for that. I think we'll have to have further litigation. Obviously, as has been mentioned, Costco and other companies have already began litigation to get their tariff revenue that they paid back. In the case that the Supreme Court rules that these are illegal, I think we'll have to have further litigation to address that, or they may just decide to kick a resolution down to the lower courts to come up with a resolution for that. We don't really know because we're in uncharted territory. We've never ever raised this level of tariff revenue before. Also, we've lost, since President Trump has come into office, 86,000 manufacturing jobs. So much for making manufacturing great again. And just this past July last year, Canada purchased more auto parts from Mexico than the United States in decades. Countries are now working around the United States, getting supply chains away from us, and we're losing our position in global trade. And China's saying, we're open for business. This has been bad for us globally. It's been bad at home for us, and it's something that needs to continue. And I think the president has been advised very, very badly in the use of...
Andrew, thank you very much for that. As you said, that ruling expected 10 a.m. local time. We'll be following that as well. This imparting of opinions, I should say. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you.